Okay, for this project, I'm using a size H 5mm crochet hook, and I'm using 4-ply yarn. I'm using Caron Simply Soft, but any 4-ply yarn will work just fine. And you want to start off, I started off with a chain of 40 because I did this a little bit ago. And I started with 40, but I'm going to do it a little smaller here so I can just show you how to do it, because I don't have to do the big long chain again. And any number of chains, you can do any number of chains if you want your bag bigger. Just make sure you do the number in an even number. That way it'll work out okay. But like I said, I did 40, so I'm just going to show you short here. This isn't correct or anything, so you want to, once you get your 40 chains made, you want to double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook, and we never count the one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet in each stitch across the remainder of the chain all the way to the end. Okay, when you get to the end of your chain, after you double crochet in the last stitch, you just want to do a chain 3, turn your work. Now we're going to be doing a front post double crochet in the next stitch. So in this stitch right here, and I'll show you how to do it for those of you that don't know how to do it. These are your posts right here. And this next one, we're going to do a double crochet around the post instead of the top of the stitch. So we'll just yarn over like a double crochet, and we're just going to go through the post like that. This is a double crochet, a front post double crochet, and then you just continue doing a double crochet like that. And then in the next stitch, you just do one regular double crochet at the top of the stitch. And then the next one, we're going to do a front post and double crochet. So we're going to yarn over. And if it helps, you can kind of fold your work in half. And then you just pull it up. And you're just doing a double crochet underneath. It's like going through the post like that. And then finishing out your double crochet like that. And then the next stitch, just do a regular double into the top of the stitch. And then the next one, front post double crochet. See, we did the double crochet into the top of this stitch, so we're going to work in front of this one. That. And the next one is a regular double crochet. The next one is going to be a front post double crochet. And right underneath the post like that. The next one, a regular double on the top of the stitch. Then a front post double crochet right under the next one. Next one is a regular double. And we're just going to repeat that to the end. And you want to make sure that you go into that chain 3 at the end and do your double. Okay, now we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now we're going to be working, we're going to be doing back post double crochets. I'll show you the difference here. These are the front posts because you're working in the front of the posts, and when you flip your work we got to do back posts so it continues to line up. If that makes any sense. So chain 3, and then we need to go to the next stitch and do a back post double crochet. So what that is you just yarn over, and this double crochet right here that's kind of behind, we want to, I always flip my work over, and we're just going to go from the back of it and do a double crochet. Like that. And then I flip my work back upright. And then the next stitch is just going to be a regular double crochet in the top of the stitch. And then the next one, which is right here, we need to do a back post double. So we're going to yarn over like a normal double crochet. I always flip my work over. We're doing the same thing as a front post, we're just working from the back. So this stitch right here, you just go from behind it and then around the post. Like that. See, my post is behind my stitch. And then just do a double. And the back posts are a little bit more tricky than the front post. But once you figure out, you'll get on a roll, and it won't take too long to do it. The next one is just a regular double crochet into the top. Okay. And the next one is going to be a back post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over. It's a stitch right here, but we're going to go, I'm going to the front of my work like this, and I'll try not to turn my work and show you, but I'm going in the next and around it like that. So it's just around that post, but I'm doing it from the back of my work. So that's why it's called a back post double. And then I'm just going to do a double crochet. Okay, and the next stitch is just one regular double into the top of your work. And then this next stitch right here is going to have to be a back post double. Yarn over. And then I'm just going to go in from the side. And I'm right behind the post. And I just want to do a double crochet with it. The next one is a regular double crochet into the top of the stitch. The next one right here is a back post, so yarn over and just go just like that. I'm just working in the back of my project. That's why it's the back post. That. And then the next one needs to be regular. And then a back post. See how it looks? And do a double crochet. And then at the end, you have to do one regular double into this chain 3. To the top of the chain 3. Okay? And then you want to chain 3 again and turn your work. Just like that. And if we didn't, that's why we have to do one row front post and the next row back post, the next row front and the next row back. So the ridges line up. If you just did all front posts and you never did any back posts, you wouldn't have this thick ridge like this all the way up. It would be all messed up, but that's what it's going to look like. So you do your chain 3 and you turn, and now we need to do a row of the front post double crochet. So into this stitch right here, the next stitch, we're going to do front post double right under it like that, through the front of your work. Do your double. The next stitch is just going to be a regular double crochet into the top of the stitch. The next one, front post double. It's going right underneath the post, and do a double crochet. So we're just lining up the ridges. That's what we're doing. The next one is a regular double, front post double, right under the post, and then do your double. The next one is a regular double crochet into the top of the stitch, and then the next one, front post double, right under the post, do the double, regular double crochet in the next, front post double into the next, regular double, front post double, and then the last will be a regular double crochet into the top of the chain 3. Then we need to chain 3, turn our work again. Now we'll just do a row of the back post doubles, just like we did earlier. So the next stitch, this one right here, is going to be a back post. So we yarn over and just go through it from the behind, around the post from the behind your work, like that. So it's the exact same as the front post, but it's just working from the behind, like that. A regular double into the next, back post double into the next, just like that. That's what it looks like from the front. Regular double, back post double into the next, regular double, and then back post double. It's really pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Regular double, back post double, regular double, back post, and then when you get to the end of yours, you want to make sure you always do a regular double into that last chain 3. And then what you do is you chain 3, turn, and then you just repeat a row of the front post, and then after that it's another row of the back post. So just like this, every time the posts are facing you like this, that's when you do the front post, the row of front post double crochet. Whenever they're behind like that, then you do your row back. So that's all there is to it. You just repeat that sequence until you get, I did 24 rows on mine, because I'm gonna fold it in half, but you can do however many you want to do, however big you want your bag. And then I just tie it off. I still gotta hide some of my tails, but so I want the part with the ridges to face me. I guess unless you like to look at the side, you could do either way. But now I'm gonna go I'm just gonna go around my bag with a row of single crochet. Kind of clean up them edges a little bit. So you just want to start with the slip knot on your hook. And you can start anywhere that you want. Okay. Probably to start up here in the corner. And just go into the corner and just go through that loop on your hook to start. And then chain one. And then I'm just going to go back into that same spot with a single crochet. That. And then I'm going to do one single crochet in every stitch all the way around my project. Try to hide my tail there as I go. The less sewing I have to do, the better. I'm not a big fan of sewing in tails. I doubt anybody is, though. It's kind of the worst part for me. I usually make my husband do it. So I'm just going to do one single crochet in each stitch. When you get down here to the corner, go ahead and do 2 single crochets in the corner stitch. It just rounds that corner off a little bit better. And then keep going around with rows of one single crochet in each row or each stitch. And when you get to the sides here, it's where all these chain 3s are. It's going to be hard to see where you need to put a single crochet, but just remember for every little chain 3 here or a double crochet from the side like this, you need to put 2 single crochets in each one of them. And then what you just need to do is just try to evenly space the rest of them out. Just evenly space them out the best you can. So for each one of these, there's going to be 2 single crochets. And I'm just going to space them. They're not going to be perfect, but just do the best that you can. Just like that. And then you just want to continue that all the way down. And 2 in the corner, all the way back this way. 2 in the corner, and all the way back. 1 single crochet in each stitch, except for the corners are going to get 2. As you get to the end, going around it with single crochet, I'm just going to slip stitch into the first single crochet I made, and then I can tie it off. And then you can hide your tail if you want. Now I'm going to sew the sides together of it. You want the ridges to be vertical, and I guess you could do it horizontal too, if you wanted to. Be a little bit longer, I think, but either way would probably work. But I'm gonna go with the vertical ridges, like that. But I want to sew it. I'm gonna sew it inside out, so I want the wrong side facing me. Just like this. And when I flip it right side out, there's not going to be a seam to see. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. And I'm just going to start up here at the top. I'm going to match up the corners the best that I can here. Go into this one. And then a corner of, look at this one. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull this. I'm all messed up here. I'm all tangled up. Just 1 second. Okay, sorry. Okay, just go ahead and pull the yarn through the slip knot on your hook. Like that. Chain 1. I'm going to sew it together with, so you can sew it together with slip stitch or single crochet. I'm just going to use slip stitch. So I'm going to go into the next stitch, and then the next stitch on this side, and slip stitch, and then I'm going to go into the next stitch, the next stitch back here, slip stitch, I'm just going to match up the stitches on both sides, slip stitch them together. I'm going to do this all the way down here, and then I'm going to do it on the other side. And you, like I said, you could do a single crochet too, whatever works. You're not going to be able to see the seam, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm just going to finish that down here, and then when I get done, I'll just tie off. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, when you get it all sewed up on both sides, just flip it inside out, or right side out, and you got a nice thick clean seam down both sides. I think the seam turned out nice. Looks good. Nice and thick. Okay, now I'm going to put a little brim around the top with some handles. I'm just going to use the same color. You can use different colors if you want. I'm trying to untangle this yarn. I started to make my sister had a baby the other day. I started to make her a dress. Then I changed my mind, so I'm just pulling the yarn out and repurposing it into a bag so I don't waste it. It's getting all tangled up on me. Okay, start with the slip knot on your hook, and you can start at, I'm just going to start up in the corner somewhere, but you can start anywhere. And go ahead and pull through that knot on your hook. And chain one. And go back into that same stitch, single crochet. And I'm going to go around the whole bag with a row of single crochet all the way around. Just one in each stitch. Oh, I'm doing it off camera. Okay. Just like this. All the way around. Just going to go around, and we're just going to continue going around here. Around our seam and everything. Just one continual round of one single crochet in each stitch. So I'll meet you back up here at the beginning. Okay, I went around with my first row of single crochet, and I made it back here to where I started. And if you want to put a stitch marker here so you can remember your spot, that would be a good idea. Otherwise, if you can keep track, we're just going to work in continual rounds. We're just going to single crochet around. But first, I'm going to make, you're going to need 4 stitch markers. I'm just going to use some yarn for where we're going to put the handles. So we're going to start over here at our seam, and we're going to count over 12 stitches from our seam. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm going to put a stitch marker there if I can find my needle. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on this side from our seam. Count over 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to put a stitch marker there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So from between this stitch marker and this stitch marker, 12 on the side, 12 on the side, you should have 24 stitches. Or, you know, try to get 24. I guess if it's off a little bit, it won't be too bad, but 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 here. And then on the other side. Okay, it'll look about even to me. Okay, and then like I said, if you want to put a stitch marker right here at the beginning so you can remember where you start and stop, you can. I think I'll be able to remember. So I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch, or I'm sorry, go ahead and single crochet into that first single crochet that we did. That, and then I'm just going to do one single crochet in every stitch around until I get to my first stitch marker. Okay, when I get to my stitch marker, I want to go ahead and single crochet into the stitch that has the stitch marker. And then I can move it because we don't need it anymore. Now I'm going to do a chain for as long as I want my handle, and it's going to reach across over to here. So you do yours however long you want. Just make sure you keep track so you know you can do the same on the other side. I'll let you know in a second how many I do. Okay. Okay, I'm doing a chain of 35, but if you want yours longer or shorter, it's really up to you. And then when you get your chain made, you come over here to the stitch that the stitch marker's in, go in it, single crochet in that stitch, and then you can move that because you don't need it anymore. Now we're going to just single crochet one in each stitch around to our next stitch marker. Okay, single crochet into the stitch with the stitch marker, and then you can move the stitch marker, take it out. I did a chain of 35, but you do whatever you did on the other side. Or 5, take it, stretch it over, single crochet into the stitch with the stitch marker, pull it out. So that's kind of formed our handles now, and then we're gonna single crochet in our every stitch back to our beginning. Okay, I'm back to where I started, so I'm just going to keep going around again with one single crochet in every stitch. All the way around. This time when I get to my handles, I'm going to do one single crochet in each spaces of the handle. Okay, I know I said I'm at my handle, and I know I said I'm going to do one single crochet in each one of these chains. Actually, I'm going to do one double crochet in each stitch along the chain, a double. Normally I would do a single, I'm going to do a double this time. So just one in each of the chains along the handle. Just like this. And I'm going to do this the entire length of the handle. And I got one double crochet in each stitch of the handle. And then when I'm done with that, I'm just going to continue doing one single crochet. After that, all the way around. Just one in each stitch now, single crochet, until I get to the other handle. And then that's where I'll do two double crochet again in each stitch. So one single until you get to here, and then you do one double. I'm sorry, I'm all messed up. One single in each stitch around here, and then one double in each stitch along the chain, and then one single back around here and back to your beginning. So basically you're just doing one single crochet on the brim and then one double crochet in each stitch of the handle. Okay, I made it back to my starting point. If you feel like you want your handles thicker, you could do another round of the same thing that we just did. But I'm gonna let mine go the way it is. So to close it off, I'm just gonna slip stitch into the next stitch and tie my yarn off. And then hide my tails. Okay, this is just some ribbon I found at Walmart, and I just sewed it on the handles with some white thread. Now that's not nothing that you have to do. You can leave your handles plain. Or if you wanted to get some ribbon, I got it at Walmart. Or if you have some other kind, you could just sew it along your handles just with a piece of white thread. That's what I did. Really easy. But like I said, you don't have to do that. It's just something I did. Now you want to find the center of your piece here so we can do a strap. And you're going to use 4 stitches to do the strap. So I have, yours might be different than mine, but I have 18. So I'm going to use 4 stitches. So I'll do my total number minus the 4 would be 14, and then I half that would be 7. So I need to go count 7 over. And then the next one that makes any sense, you just find your center 4 stitches any way that you know how. And then I'm just gonna do go through that slip knot on my hook, chain 1, go back into the same stitch with a single crochet, and then I'm gonna single crochet in 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. 2, 3, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and then I'm going to go across again with 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, You want to make sure you go into that chain 1 because that counts as a stitch. That turning chain 1. Like that. And then you chain 1 again. And you want to turn your work again. And I'm just going to be doing rows of single crochet. And just row of single crochet again. One in every stitch. Get it through that chain 1, and then you chain 1 and turn again. One single crochet in every stitch. Don't forget that chain 1. It's the hardest stitch. Okay, chain 1, and then you can just turn, go back again with another row, and you do however many rows it takes you, or you feel. I'll show you. It's just gonna come over here, strap over to the other side. Ugh. Got it all tangled up here. How many rows? It's just gonna come over like this and strap. So I think I'm gonna do one more row, and then I'm gonna make a buttonhole. So I did 6 rows of single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn and do a buttonhole. So I'm just going to turn, and I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then single crochet in this last stitch, which is the chain 1, like that. There's your buttonhole. Chain 1, turn it around, go back the other way. Now we're going to single crochet in every stitch, and that includes the two chains that we did. Now one in each of the chains. And then one at the end here. Chain 1. I'm going to do one more row, I think I'll do. Actually, I'm going to do 3 rows to pass the buttonhole. And then if you want to do more than that, you can, but just a simple strap. And then I'm going to tie off and hide my tails. Okay, once you get that strap done, you're going to stretch it over and sew a button on there if you want. I actually have this pin thing that I'm going to pin on it for my button or for my decoration. Let's see. See if I can get it on here straight. Okay, that's it. That's my bag. That's all I'm going to do. And you could do whatever you want. Like I said, you could put a button here. You could put ribbon here if you want. You don't have to. Put a flower. Put a bow. Leave it plain. I think it'll be pretty any way that you do it. And if you do it, I'd like to see a picture of it. You can post it on my Facebook page. I'll put a link below so you can get to that. And don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel so I can keep building my channel up. do more tutorials. And until next time, have a good day.